What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran giving you that Friday energy on a Monday. Sorry for the delayed episode, everybody. We had some stuff come up, some personal things.
Yeah, I know it feels like there is some slacking happen. We swear to God there's not.
We promise you we are not
swear
slacking
to God,
at all.
There is not.
We just have a lot happening at once.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday, marathon day in the city, it's impossible to get around. We're all in different areas. We were planning on doing Monday, and then I'm not going to get into too many details of it, but Joe had like a horrendous allergic reaction. I had to take him to the emergency room Sunday night, was there till the wee hours of the morning.
Allergic reaction's not something to joke about.
Nope.
No,
it
it's
is
not.
It is not.
It is not, Noah.
And so, due to those reasons, we are recording a little later today.
Yeah. But now the tour is over. We finished in New York City, but we're going to talk about all that. First, we have a new presenting sponsor, which we are very excited about. This is going to be a fun one, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to introduce you guys to Dat Chat.
That's DAT Chat. Dat Chat. It is a awesome new social networking and messaging app that we're trying out here at work. I think a lot of people are using it. It's going across a bunch of podcasts. But for us, what we really love about it, it's a way that you can share messages actually privately.
Yes.
Like, you cannot screenshot anything. Mm-hmm. You tried to. I tried just to test it out.
tried to yesterday.
I tried. Shows up blank.
Yep. I sent her my nudes and she tried screenshotting it, that bitch.
You can hide messages. You can set a certain amount of time for a message to go, like, for it to be sent. You can have it, you can set it to a specific time, or you can set it to be like the person can open it 5 times, then it goes away. You also can self-destruct all your messages after you send them, and they are gone
forever.
So if you are maybe, had a couple too many drinks, you said something you don't want to say, you can go back, completely delete it. It's gone. And then, like I said, Rhea and I historically have advised to look out for the cloud, right? Like, you send in pictures, it's the cloud. It's up there.
I mean, everyone remembers the one time I sent Noah and Fran a nude by accident.
And the cloud has it.
Yes.
So with Dat Chat, you can't screenshot. And it's like, you can send, they can enjoy it, appreciate it.
And you can let them know how many times they can enjoy it and for
then
how
it's
long
gone.
they can enjoy it.
Exactly. What's also really cool is we're doing show pages. So we have one for Cutting Stems. We have one for Chicks in the Office. You can join those pages. You can interact with us, talk with us, tell us your true feelings. And we can't screenshot it.
So it goes away.
Yeah.
It's a great app right now because I feel like nothing is private anymore, right? Like, Snapchat's not private. People
you
can
can't
screenshot
screen
that
record shit.
Your messages, they cannot people screenshot your messages. Just every Instagram, that shit all stays forever.
Yeah.
This app is truly an app where things will disappear and nobody can see what you are saying. It's all very private. So it's the place to be right now. If you want to create a group chat with your friends, I know that that's like what I'm excited about, is like having a group chat with my friends on there that no one can see what we're saying in there. We could say whatever the fuck we want and no one's going to see it.
Yep. I also am excited for a Cutting Stems group. I think if you make an account, definitely join the Cutting Stems group, because we're thinking about maybe getting in there, talking about the show with you guys after an episode. Maybe we'll take some comments during Cutting Stems actually on the show from Dat Chat. So definitely right now go download the app. Like I said, it's DATCHAT for iPhone and Android. You can get them in the App Store, or you can go to datchat.com/barstool to get more info and download Dat Chat. We're very excited. I think it's going to be a fun way to communicate with everyone, ourselves,
I was
me and
having
you,
fun on
other
it.
people.
I was having a lot of fun on it yesterday. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
I was just sending like hot pictures of people to Glenn, but they like just not me. Like other hot people. Not obviously not that, not private photos.
No. Yeah,
I wouldn't be sharing that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I was having fun with it. So everyone download Dat Chat. Like I was saying, we just finished our first Chicks in the Office live tour. It was amazing. Seriously, so incredible. Meeting all of you was such a great experience, and exactly why we wanted to do the tour was to meet all the people who listen to our show. And oh my God, you guys have the best style. You guys are so
cute,
friendly, great personalities, so much fun.
Burst into tears when the show ended in New York.
Can we talk about how much I
into
cried?
My arms for a long time.
Really? I didn't see that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Can we talk about how much I cried on Thursday?
Shaking crying.
Where?
Everywhere.
In the back, we were in the back of the green room when we got to the bar, like everywhere.
Noah, I cried. I cried when I got home that night.
Yeah.
I cried so many fucking times. Oh, I cried when our parents came to the show, which was awesome. It all went over well. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yep. Noah's mom is
so hot.
Smoke.
She really is. And when my parents walked down the stairs, my sister and her husband too, I broke down to tears. Me and my sister were hugging each other. And then as soon as the show ended, I went to the green room, hugged Fran, sobbing,
Waterworks.
absolutely sobbing. Then we went to Common Ground. I started crying at Common Ground.
Yep.
And people got that on video.
I was like, you can't be crying in this bar right now.
And people, like, I wanted people to know I wasn't sad. Like, it was just, I got
a picture of my dad kissing your dad on the cheek.
Oh my God, on the cheek. And my mom kissing your dad on the cheek. Everyone was getting wild.
Yeah.
It was a great time. Couldn't ask for anything better. And now, next tour, I think maybe we'll start back up in February. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I need a few weeks to not think about it and then start thinking about it again.
Miss the road.
I would love to start planning the next one.
I like traveling. It kind of like breaks my week up.
I agree, Noah. I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know.
I already miss it.
Seeing the country.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly like traveling, but I don't know if I like the leaving once a week. I kind of feel like I want to be on the road.
I think that
like a real
I want to be on the road.
RV.
I want to be gone for like 2 weeks and do 12 shows.
I think the next one we're gonna do we're gonna go out west coast and then just
hit
stay
all
there, hit them all.
Yeah, because we can't be
LA, San Diego, Vegas, Arizona,
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I mean
everywhere.
Everyone was sending us cities that they want us to go, and I'm very excited.
Canada would be cool.
I know. I would like to do Toronto or Vancouver. Yeah, so many cool spots. I will say New York show was amazing. This whole tour was amazing. Noah did a great job. Devin, Natalie, everybody crushed it. It was great having Gia there. Like, she's so cute. Just like everybody was crying. It's really so nice.
You sang High School Musical.
Oh yes, Tyler and I sang High School Musical, which was a hit. Let's talk about that for a second. So we knew that Tyler was going to come to this show. Well, I had asked Tyler to come to this show weeks ago, and no one believed he was actually going to come. He was like, I'm putting it in my calendar. I was like, all right.
I thought maybe. Well, he moved. His plans change
all the time. So it was like, okay, he's coming, but we're not going to tell him we're bringing him on stage. Like, we're just going to get him here and then tell him. But then that day, I was like, okay, Tyler, like, we have a little maybe funny thing we want to do with you. So we had to change it so many times. Finally, we're sitting in the green room literally like 5 minutes before the show starts.
After he already said that he had to come at the beginning of the show instead of the end of the show.
So that he could meet David Beckham, which he did not meet.
Yeah.
But 5 minutes before the show starts, we're like, Tyler, what walkout song do you want? Like, what do you want? And he was like, wait, High School Musical? And then it clicked.
Shout out Tyler's friend Molly.
Yeah. It clicked. We were like, wait, let's just sing High School Musical and you'll come out. It was awesome. It was awesome. Like, the videos of it was just unreal. Like,
you guys really were like committed. Like,
we fully committed.
Like, very dramatic about it.
Yeah, no,
so
we were
dramatic.
We said to each other, we were like, we have to sell
When you guys
this.
grabbed hands, like, I almost fell off the back of the couch.
You were buying into what we were selling.
I was recording from the back.
There's all these pictures from that night where you just see Fran's
just my phone in the air, just because. And let me tell you something. Tyler, I love him. He might be the worst singer I've ever heard in my entire life. He made you sound good.
I'm terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I watched back the video that I took from sitting in the seat behind you guys. And when he hits the start something new. Yeah. And he says it and you can hear me go, oh. Like, it was
it sounded like he was trying to be bad. Like, that's how it was.
Yes.
I think that we were both just very bad. But
I
did sound better.
He did get to fulfill his dream because he always loved High School Musical, and he is such a Troy Bolton. He just can't sing.
See that
so he finally got the opportunity.
That was my dream too, because I want to be a singer. So being able to be up on that stage and just sing was awesome. Whatever.
I know.
Anyways, it was a fun time, and we can't wait for the next tour. And New York City was just awesome. Don't make me cry again. I cried like a fucking baby all night, even after the bar. Oh my God, I threw up at the bar. You left before that. Nobody even knows that. Oh.
Just emotional?
No. I was like, yeah, let's take more shots. I took a shot and was like, nope. And immediately went to go puke.
At one point in the bar too.
Yeah. I actually know of a few people who threw up. It wasn't just me or Noah.
Wednesday night at Common Ground.
Yeah, it'll get you.
Yeah, it'll get you.
It'll sneak up on you. But it was a lot of fun.
I mean, it was just, we had so many incredible people come join us as well that we're like so thankful for, like between Caitlin and Jason and Joe and Serena, Paige, Tyler, Trent, Zach C,
yes.
And
Ronan
I will say Ronan Sass, yeah, and like Trent really dedicated a lot of time to this tour as well, which I don't think he expected to do, but it was worth it in the end.
I think he knows now.
Yeah,
He's
funny
locked
to look
in.
back because before the Boston shows, we were like, oh yeah, like Trent will just be the guest for this one, and then that's it.
Yeah, and then
now
he's
just like a staple of the show.
Yeah,
well, it was just
we
the
saw
reaction,
the reaction, and it was how are we not going to have this man come out at
that first Boston show where he came out is still like one of the most, because no one expected that.
Yeah, they just fucking freaked out.
Yeah,
but it was awesome.
It was
and
great.
We are so excited to do it again. But
back to regular programming.
Back to regular
folks.
scheduled programming. So we won't be slacking anymore for all those people who are
Monday,
yelling at
Wednesday,
us.
Friday, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Bringing you that Friday energy on all those days.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's get into the topics, Fran.
I kind of miss doing the show on Friday. I'm not going to lie. Because I feel like we're missing stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Because with The Bachelor, we talk about The Bachelor on Wednesday. It's basically a whole week where, like, there's so much has happened from this Monday to last Monday when I was telling you guys that I didn't believe in Pete and Kim at all. Look how much has changed.
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to change,
week.
and I'm excited to talk about it.
Are you going to admit that you were wrong?
Let's save it.
Of course you're not.
Of course not. Come on. All right.
No.
Anyways, let's get into the topics. We're going to be talking about Travis Scott and Astroworld Festival this past weekend. Disaster.
Yep.
Pete Davidson, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian. We're throwing them all into one topic. And we will also be talking about the new Wicked movie. And we have a very fun interview with Max Greenfield. He's a
Schmidt
delight.
himself from New Girl. If you don't know his real name.
Yes.
But he was very funny.
Yes, it was a delight. So let's get into it, starting off with Travis Scott.
We have had tons of coffee in and out of this office, I would say, for a long time. But recently, we have had Black Rifle Coffee Company, their canned coffee, the bags of coffee. It's really, really delicious. Black Rifle Coffee is a veteran-owned coffee company serving premium coffee to people who love America. Their veteran CEO and founder, Evan Haffer, spent over 7 years on the ground overseas with U.S. Special Forces and as a CIA contractor. Evan even modified his gun trucks while he was in Iraq to grind coffee anywhere. He has this commitment to support veterans. They import high-quality coffee beans from all over the world and roast 5 days a week at their facilities in Manchester, Tennessee, and Salt Lake City, Utah. The team at Black Rifle Coffee is continually researching and experimenting with new roasting methods and coffee origins. They have donated 6 million cups of coffee to deployed soldiers, law enforcement, medical workers through their signature Buy a Bag, Give a Bag initiatives. You can join their coffee club. It's the best way to enjoy their coffee. You pick your perfect roast, how much and when you want delivered to your door, and they take care of the rest. It's free to sign up, and you get free shipping, discounts on partner brands, and early access to new products and club exclusive products. Like I said, they have canned coffee also, the canned espresso, which we have in the office. It's delicious. So you can go to blackriflecoffee.com/chicks and use code CHICKS today and get the freshest coffee in America shipped to you. Once again, that's blackriflecoffee.com/chicks.
Very, very unfortunate news this past weekend with the Astroworld Festival, Travis Scott's festival. You know, I didn't hear a lot of talk about this leading up to it. And
I didn't even know this was happening.
No, exactly. I didn't know this was happening. And then all of a sudden the week it started happening. People were like, oh my God, Astroworld Fest is happening.
Yeah.
You know, you saw all the Jenners posting about it. And then tragedy struck. Things really turned into a huge disaster. 8 people sadly lost their lives at this festival. A lot is going on around this now because it's like, who is to blame?
Right. When there are lives lost, you want to blame somebody.
Yes.
Give me a reason for why this happened.
Right. And very young kids too. 14, 16, 19.
14.
Very young. When you think about it, it's incredibly sad to think that, you know, these parents probably dropping their kids off at a festival thinking they're having a good time, and then you hear this terrifying news. It's so heartbreaking to hear about. And then now obviously the conversation lies around Travis Scott and whether or not he knew what was happening. There's a lot of videos from the crowd of, you know, people yelling, stop the show. There's paramedics, there's people doing CPR, and Travis Scott is, you know, igniting mosh pits in his crowd and basically telling people to get violent. And that's something that's been a part of his shows for a while now, and I don't think that anybody has. I'm sure people have gotten hurt in the past, but not as severely as this, clearly. And it just took a wild turn. He issued an apology that wasn't really great, and people want answers.
Yeah, I think that this is it's so hard to put together what is happening from 10, 15, 20 second cut clips that you're seeing from a show. You don't see the beginning, you don't see the end, maybe you're not seeing the middle. But the
was
videos
streamed on Apple TV, right? The whole concert, I think.
They were streaming it, but it's like, no, I'm saying from within the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, so you look to see what, you know, these videos, you see these people, you see these unconscious bodies, you see people trying to perform CPR. There's 50,000 people there. There's no way to get out of the crowd. They're crowd surfing people to try and get them medical attention. There's ambulances in the middle of the crowd. And I think what's really important too is that so many people, this is such huge news, and there's so many people that are not familiar with a Travis Scott concert. So if you think like you're going to a festival and you're watching the news, you see this happen, it's jarring. You're like, I cannot believe that these are the shows that this guy puts on. Travis Scott, like, sadly, I don't want to say like something bad was bound to happen, but like he incites so much of this behavior at his shows that it's scary. You know, he wants people fighting in mosh pits. He wants mayhem. He wants chaos. That is what so much of his music is saying. And like, thankfully, in the past, it's happened safely. I do think, and I'm 100% not accurate. Like, I don't have any facts to back myself up on this, but I'm sure that people have passed out in crowds at Travis Scott's concerts.
There's a whole
before.
documentary about like his tour, like came out like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And that was like a huge part of it. Like you can see people get like
stretchered
out.
So like this is what I'm saying. Like there's so many videos being like, he looked right in the crowd. He saw these people. I think warped. It's nuts. But I think he is almost used to that happening at his shows, never thinking that these people are dead or dying.
Yeah.
And that doesn't click in his mind. Like, I can't believe that he would hear people screaming like someone is dead and he's just like, I'm going to keep doing my show.
Yeah. I think that it's very confusing because nobody, like, of course, if people are screaming, I think he heard people saying stop the show. And he was like, why do you want me to stop the show? Which, like, I do think the people that work there, and Travis Scott obviously partially at fault for not stopping the show.
I know, I absolutely think so, like, also, but he's not the one person. He's not the one person,
right? Like Travis Scott is on the stage performing. There's 50,000 people screaming. He's got shit in his ears.
Yeah.
Like there's probably not part of his brain going, people are dying out there.
Right.
Like,
which is why I'm saying, like, I think because his concerts have been like that for so long, that it's even more of a reason of why he did not think that, like, I have to stop what's happening.
Right. And that's on him for
exactly.
not,
That's
like,
what I'm saying, like, bad behavior that he encourages at his shows.
Like he saw like the ambulance, like he pointed it out and then brought out Drake, which made it way worse.
I personally we've been around Travis Scott shows. I would never be comfortable being in the middle of that crowd.
No.
Scares the shit out of me. Like, because it's like mosh pits like that are terrifying, especially if you're young, like you're 14, 16, 18. This could maybe be one of the first experiences you've ever had at a festival of that magnitude. And if you in your mind, you're thinking, I just want to be close to the stage.
Yeah.
So you try and get as close as possible, and then the show
I wanna
starts.
be close to Travis Scott.
And your heart is pounding.
Even-
you can't breathe. Nobody's moving. They're
Also,
fucking
just
pushing and shoving you.
So many people in one place.
So many.
Is so dangerous.
so
like,
yeah.
what if a fire broke out?
Yeah.
How do people get out of there?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You
it's-
can't get out of there.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You're trapped. It's like,
They had to crowd surf bodies.
yeah, that's
out
it's
of the
it's gross
crowd.
to think about, and honestly terrifying and very scary. And I don't know where they go from here, because obviously everyone is blaming
Yeah.
Travis Scott and Kylie, and people are partially to blame. It's not all on one person. I think it's the whole
Yeah.
the whole team
It's the way they set up these shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like he's created this environment. Where,
Right.
like, I don't think anyone on his team is comfortable being like, stop the show, Travis, because he's
sure.
a crazy person.
And because he has, like, everybody who works on a Travis Scott tour knows that that's what happens at his shows. Not that people are dying, but he knows that, like, they know that chaos is what happens at these shows. So whether it's preparing security enough or having enough security, I know the Houston police chief has tried to say, like, they had more police presence and security at this show than they did World Series games. Like, they anticipated mayhem. And there were videos of earlier in the day of, like, crowds of people breaking through the gates, and they rush the VIP entrance, and they're just running in.
Also,
and like, oh
if
God.
you think about it, like festivals, there's a lot of drugs involved.
Yeah.
Like, these people are not hydrated, and
No.
there's just so many people around. Like, there's a lot of shit that goes into this.
The medical like the medic tents, those people there probably not prepared for what was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, like, I do think it's going to come down on the organizers of this show, and Travis Scott will probably be involved. I know that there's already been lawsuits with him named, because yes, 8 people lost their lives. It's so sad, but like hundreds of people were injured. More were in the hospital.
It's not exactly.
Like,
it's not just like, 8 people died.
8
It's
people
like,
died and everybody else was fine. No, there was
there's
hundreds
so
of
many
people that were hurt.
like,
Yeah.
this was the worst thing I've ever attended in my life. Like, genuinely thought I was gonna lose my life. Saw people struggling in the crowd. Don't know what happened to them. Like, it just seemed like an absolute disaster. And these people, they live in such an alternate universe. We've talked about that before, where they're not thinking ahead like that. They're not thinking, people are gonna get hurt.
People are gonna die at my show.
Right. Like, they need to start thinking that way. It's a big wake up call, and who knows what will happen in the future. Like, will he perform again? Like, how do you come back from that? How do you have this happen and then you get on stage again? How do you make sure your concerts are in check? Like, there has to be a major change that goes on with Travis Scott and his team going forward.
Yeah. Look, you want to believe in humanity and think that, like, if a man on stage performing to all people that love him, if he hears there is death happening in the crowd, that you stop and try and help as much as possible.
I just don't see how, like, he does another, like, he'll never be able to do a show like he has.
No,
Like, again.
never again.
It just,
And if he does, then he's
like,
he's
the next-
really.
if he
does, he's the
then fuck
asshole
him.
that everyone thinks he is.
Yeah, because if he can
But
get
that
up on
is-
stage and tell people to fucking mosh and throw their bodies around,
But it's weird
and
'cause, like,
jump
that
like
is
and
his
like
whole-
hurt themselves.
Right, but that doesn't have to be his whole
No,
thing.
I'm
like,
not saying, but
no,
like,
but it is. But
I
here-
can't imagine him, like, not doing that.
Right, but like he could rap his songs
Yeah, he's
just like
just gonna have
Drake
to
gets up
fucking
there.
change it.
I've been to a Drake concert. Everyone's just bopping their heads, rapping the songs. No one's doing mosh pits. Travis could do that as well.
And I do think, like, look, the Travis fans really love him. If you have looked
they're
at social
diehard,
media, like, there's a lot of people. The fighting on social media is wild right now, of those who want to blame Travis and those who want to say it's not Travis's fault. So, like, the blind loyalty for him is so high that I think if he was to perform again, and he's on stage and saying, like, if I see one fucking mosh pit, you're all getting your asses kicked out, I would like to believe they would listen.
I think they would listen, but let's hope Travis Scott does that.
Yeah, like, I honestly wouldn't, like, believe that he would do that. Like,
yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like truly blood on their hands for the entire everyone that organizes a show like this. It's the worst possible outcome. You have to imagine there is a lot of sadness, and Kylie posted a statement saying, like, of course Travis had no idea that the people were dying. If that was the case, they would have done something. So it's just really, really sad. It's just like an absolute tragedy, especially because so many of these kids who were at the concert, like there were kids.
Yeah.
So just
So
really,
sad.
really, really awful. And we're going to be hearing a lot from this. Look, there's 50,000 people at this
he's
show.
getting sued already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 50,000 people at this show. The lawsuits are going to come
It's
pouring
not
in.
just ending now.
Yeah.
Holiday season is approaching rapidly, and holiday season comes around, which means we start talking about Manscaped. We start talking about the Performance Package 4.0. That is the global leader in below-the-waist grooming, and you know what I mean by below-the-waist grooming. Got to make sure the balls are groomed, okay? Straightforward. We're keeping it straightforward. So maybe you got a man in your life that you've been fooling around with and you're like, oh, he's not that groomed that well, but I don't really want to be mean. Maybe you just get him this little gift. You just give him this little gift for Christmas, a little hint, hey, guy, hey, you need to clean it up down there. Or maybe you're listening to this yourself and you're like, I got to clean it up myself. So right now, Manscaped is here to help you this holiday season, and you could use code CHICKS by going to manscaped.com. You'll get 20% off plus free shipping. Once again, you'll get the Performance Package 4.0. You got the lawnmower trimmer, the weed whacker, ear and nose trimmer. It's like those are important too, not just your balls. You got to make sure your ear and your nose are trimmed too. And you got the deodorant, the reviver, all these important things all come in this great Performance Package 4.0. So get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CHICKS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code CHICKS at manscaped.com. Get him the best gift of being Manscaped. Once again, manscaped.com. Use code CHICKS. A lot going on in the world of Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, and Pete Davidson. So the last time we talked about this, it was like, oh, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian rode a few roller coasters together. Are they just friends? Then Kim Kardashian made her way to good old Staten Island for Pete Davidson to take her out to a nice Italian dinner. Then they were seen in New York City the next night together. And sources are saying they're having fun together. More than friends, less than dating.
Say the words, friend. Just say it.
No, look.
I was wrong.
I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Wow.
Oh my God. Me and Noah literally are shocked.
I was half wrong.
No. We heard the first part.
They are certainly fucking. I'm now convinced. I'm convinced about that. I don't think they will be like a legitimate couple.
But you
That's
could have
what
said
I
about
said.
anyone that Pete Davidson's been with. Kate Beckinsale, like all of them.
No, but like Phoebe Dynevor, I was like, that's his girlfriend.
But we were in agreement that they weren't going to be fully boyfriend and girlfriend. They were just fucking.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, they're fucking. Kim Kardashian's getting that
Something's
Pete Davidson
happening.
dick for sure.
Something's happening. She went to Staten Island.
She went to Staten Island. And no shade to Staten Island, but Kim Kardashian went to Staten Island for Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson took Kim Kardashian out to a Italian dinner in Staten Island.
Like the fact that Pete Davidson reached out to her and was like, I want to take you to this restaurant. It's on Staten Island. And she was like, yeah.
Wait, does he still live with his mom?
No, he has that new apartment in Staten Island.
I wonder if his mom met her though.
Who knows?
But also, can I just say that this makes me like Kim so much more?
Same.
Right? Because
I've always liked Kim,
could
but
totally have been like, fuck no, get your ass to New York. We're going to like somewhere bougie and fancy in New York. Yeah. And instead, she was just like, yeah, I'll fucking go to Staten Island. Like, yeah.
Whoa!
And maybe in her mind, you
Newly
think going to
divorced
Staten
Kim.
Island, there's less eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
Because there was like reports that they were not, like Hulu wasn't filming for any of these dates or things like that. Because I think obviously a big conversation is like, is this just for PR? Is this just for press? Is this for drama for the show? Whatever. But they were not filming. And I got to think like maybe they did want it to be more low key, not have a lot of eyeballs, which always happens in New York, even though, Kim Kardashian lands in Staten Island and everybody's going to know / notice.
Has landed.
I saw some posts about the restaurant, like all the workers not being on like red alert, not allowed to take pictures. They had like the whole roof to themselves.
Fuck yeah,
private.
Pete knows how to do it, and now I stand no chance. You don't go
Yeah,
from Kim
you know what?
Kardashian to
Yeah,
Maria
no,
Chiffo.
no.
Honestly,
You just
those are
don't.
2 clips of Fran that are just so ridiculous looking back. The one where you were like, no, you have a chance with Pete. And then being
1
like,
week.
they're not.
All it took was 1 week for me to be like,
negative
I don't know.
0% chance with Pete Davidson after he's with
Pete
Kim
Davidson,
Kardashian.
Kim, Kate Beckinsale, like all these people.
Okay.
No, you have a chance.
you know what? I will, because you deserve more credit than that. I will. I think you gotta sandwich. There's gotta be some more people in between. He's gotta.
He needs to make his way down.
Like after Kim, he's gotta go.
He's got to make his way down some steps and then get to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
He's gotta
go
like
Kim
hit the New York
Kardashian,
dating,
Rhea.
hit the New York dating scene a little bit more.
Fuck.
And see what happens. But this is, and then I guess the next night they went to Zero Bond, which is private club. It was Simon's birthday, so there was a big table of people. But I think I might have seen this on Dumas. I'm not positive, but it was that Pete called ahead to pay for the entire table at dinner.
Nice, Pete.
Nice.
Kim's a billionaire, shouldn't she?
Nice.
No,
No.
but
Come
no.
on, chivalry.
Yeah, come on. Good fucking move,
Good.
Pete.
If that happened, good move.
I am.
Pete.
Oh my god. Pete and Kim. What a duo.
So there was a clip, and Not Skinny But Not Fat posted on her Instagram, and I don't think it was him, but boy did it sound like him. They were Chris's birthday, they were singing karaoke, and we saw their Instagram videos. And there's one slight moment where you can see someone's like, is either gray, bleach, there's a filter on it. So it's like, what color is this really? People are like, oh my God, maybe that's Pete's head. I do think it was Ellen and Portia.
Classic mix-up.
Because if you listen back again in different videos, you can hear Ellen's voice. She also has a very distinct voice. But there was one part where Kim is singing and she's like, all right, I'm done. And you hear someone go, come on. And it sounds like Pete.
Really?
Like Pete has a very distinct voice. Mm-hmm. Perhaps it wasn't. It did kind of sound like him.
Doesn't matter because we know they're together. We know they're hanging out.
We know they're hanging out.
It's not like, mystery Pete may have been with Kim. We know these two are hanging out. Now, Kanye, he recently did an interview.
What is going through Kanye's?
Yeah. Now Kanye is thinking, he's saying on these interviews,
right?
Oh, I still want to be with Kim, which is
I think he recorded all this Pete stuff.
Yes,
he was on Drink Champs.
He's thinking that he wants to be together, he wants
right.
their family to be together.
Yet.
They're not divorced yet. You lost her, Kanye.
Kanye was at the SNL show that she hosted, wasn't she?
He had said that he didn't like that the writers told her to say that she's divorced. Like, I'm divorcing, or I divorced him or whatever, because they're not officially divorced. And then he was like,
tomatoes, tomato, Kanye.
Like, my kids want our family to be together. Like,
but I just picture him in the audience at SNL being like fuming.
I could see Pete Davidson being like the funniest stepfather to these kids.
If you're
like
Pete
Northwest
Davidson,
is like Pete, and he's like North, and he gives her a high five. You
wasn't
picturing
that movie Big Time Adolescence? Like, that's kind of
what
he was in that movie.
Yes, that's
the confidence of Pete to not be afraid of Kanye West in this situation.
And he
well done.
Let me tell you, the balls on Pete Davidson, literally. I'm telling you, this guy's just.
And when Kanye hosted, remember he did that whole at the end this whole speech that got cut from the show, and Pete Davidson shit on him after that.
Yeah, I respect the level of not giving a fuck from Pete Davidson about Kanye West, because why would you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, Kim Kardashian's gonna give you a chance. Fuck Kanye.
Right. You're not gonna turn down Kim.
Kim, I had dinner with Kanye one time that I paid for. I'm not going out with you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. Go out with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Good for these two.
And it does seem like there was a Page 6 article that came out towards the end of this weekend / Monday morning that Kanye has been seeing this model that I tried to say her name on group chat. I'm not going to do it again. I'll spell it. Vinetria.
Venetria.
Venetria.
And there's so many options.
There's Vinetria.
Vinetria. I mean, there's...
No. Venetria.
She is absolutely stunning. She is, of course, Kanye does love the fashion models. And they had their first public appearance this weekend. They sat together at his Donda Academy's debut basketball game in Minneapolis. They were sitting next to each other. She's 22. And apparently she and him have been hooking up for a while. And she was in Miami for a Sunday service recently. Yeah. So it seems like he is dating.
Good for Kanye.
I'd have to imagine that Kanye was like dating, and we saw that he was dating. Mm-hmm. So, but I could see him like dating still with the hope that him and Kim would work it out. Like I really can totally see Kanye like doing the Drink Champs interim, saying that something about Kim while currently like dating someone.
Yeah.
Well,
like in the room.
The whole Scott Disick.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm going to date people, but hopefully me and Kim will get back together one day.
Yeah, exactly. And then, now you mix in Pete and
she's
it's
not coming back, Kanye. She's gone.
Well, not for Pete.
What are we going to get from them next? Like,
more
where
dinners?
to go from here?
Where does Pete go after Kim?
But it's like now,
no way.
Kim was back in New York.
Kardashian is the highest you can get at this point. Like,
I'm trying to think.
Unless he ends up with
he starts dating Beyonce,
or like Angelina Jolie, like someone like classic like that. You know what I mean?
You also gotta think
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I could see that too.
That.
I could see Pete Davidson with Jennifer Aniston too.
Angelina Jolie.
I could see Angelina Jolie with Pete Davidson. Just bring back.
You could
Billy Bob
name,
Thornton days.
You could name anybody right now,
and they will be with Pete Davidson
because it's just when you break. Like
what do you
Kim
think,
Kardashian.
Do you think Ariana Grande has any opinion on all this?
Well, I was just thinking,
I feel like Ariana Grande is like good for him.
For all of, but for all of Pete's exes or flings or whatever you want to call them, they got to be like, fucking Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, they're probably like, this man Pete.
I think Ariana Grande's probably like, I made this guy.
Yeah, but I feel like out of all of them, Ariana Grande is probably the happiest for him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because Ariana Grande is fucking Ariana Grande. Like Kim Kardashian's Kim Kardashian, yes, but Ariana Grande is Ariana Grande. Like she's one of the biggest pop stars ever. It's fucking huge. Like I could see Phoebe Dynevor, his ex-girlfriend, who's obviously amazing, but her being like, fucking Kim Kardashian, right. Come on.
Honestly, kudos to all like the New York City ladies who have maybe hooked up with him from time to time.
Pray for them.
Someone that's someone
that's cool for them.
No,
to be
I'm saying like someone that's not like necessarily famous to be like, I'm fucking Eskimo sisters with Kim Kardashian
I guess
now.
That's true. I guess if I hooked up with Pete Davidson before he's with Kim Kardashian, I'd be like, that's fucking sick.
Yes.
Like
or
he's with Pete Davidson now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Incredible. Incredible. But I'll say it again. I was wrong.
Yeah, you were.
I was wrong. And
let's just end there. You were wrong.
That's it. I was wrong. And look, I gotta say, I'm excited to see what happens next. Some exciting casting news. If anyone loves musicals, as much as I do, I love a good musical. They made the casting announcements for Wicked, that is going to be directed by John M. Chu. Famous director. He did. John M. Chu has maybe one of the coolest but random credits, I would say, like, of all time. Not of all time, but like, you're like, wow, he did that. So he did Crazy Rich Asians. Mm-hmm. He did Step Up 2 and Step Up 3.
Nice.
He did Gem and the Holograms. He did In the Heights. But what he also did was, for all the Biebers, the Beliebers out there, Never Say Never and Believe. He directed both of those as well.
Never Say Never is such a classic.
Never Say Never is so good.
It's so good. Oh my God. I want to end the show on that. We just spoke at the exact same time.
Oh man.
But Ariana Grande will be in Wicked.
Yeah, so it's a film adaptation of Wicked. Super, super exciting. Ariana Grande is going to play Glinda, and Cynthia Erivo is going to play Elphaba. So I think that is just two phenomenal people, actresses.
I want to be popular.
Yeah, and I think that
Wicked was the first Broadway play I ever saw.
I used to really think that I could sing Defying Gravity when I was like little. Like that was one when everybody, and you definitely did this too, when everybody was gone from the house and I was alone and I would be in my kitchen and I would be singing and I would test myself. And I would record
Test your
myself on my
limits.
I've
phone.
done that before.
Oh yeah.
Because no one's there. Record myself on the phone. Because in my mind, like I would hit like the low stuff of Defying Gravity, and I would play it back, and I'd be like, this kind of sounds good.
Wait, really? Because I was gonna say I would play it back and delete it immediately. Be like, holy shit.
Oh my god, no! I was immediate other reaction. I'd be like,
you kind of got a shot. Kind of got a shot. I think that the funny part of this news to me right now, and I just literally sniffed up Dorito into my nose.
oh my god, wait! Can I say one thing before you say that?
Yes.
Because I think that is very very funny. I want to say that it is a beautiful full circle moment for Kristen Chenoweth and Ariana Grande. They've been so close for so long. And as the OG Glinda, like she is so great. And she was Ariana's advisor on The Voice. Like they have this beautiful relationship. You can see how much they love each other. And for this to be a full circle of Ariana now being cast in this role, like she posted this tweet from Ariana from 2011. And she wrote, "Loved seeing Wicked again. Amazing production. Made me realize again how badly I want to play Glinda at some point in my life. # dream role." And she also posted this like black and white photo of Ariana and her grandma with Kristen. And she's little. She's got to be like 8 or 9 years old. Like she's so tiny. And Ariana commented and just said, words don't suffice. I love you more than I can say. I always have and always will. And thank you for holding my hand. Because Kristen was like, I'm so proud. From the first day I met you, you were destined for this role. You and Cynthia are going to be amazing. Yeah. So it's like a nice little like shedded tear. Like that's so beautiful. Yeah. And anytime a celebrity has the tweet manifestation for like a role or a job or something, it's awesome.
It's crazy. It's weird. Awesome. You're like, it could be me, but it can't.
Yeah.
But it's awesome for Ariana Grande, and I think she's going to do really great. Obviously, she was an actress. She is an actress, so she's going to crush this. Side note, so good for Ariana Grande, good for everyone involved here. Cynthia, this is going to be great. There is a petition right now to keep James Corden out of Wicked. Like there's over...
We'll include the link in the...
There's over 10,000 signatures on this petition to keep James Corden out of Wicked because people think that James Corden just ruins things. It's so mean, but so funny. I don't know what James Corden did to people, but people hate him and want him to be not included in Wicked. He hasn't even been casted.
I kind of agree with that, but I did tell Fran on one of the plane rides, I watched Begin Again.
Yeah.
And he was actually... I had no problem with him in that.
He just Beginning is a great movie.
So bad,
but I think it's because his recent ones have all kind of been really bad.
His whole stint with Camila Cabello,
and I also
everyone
think after like the Ellen DeGeneres stuff, there was kind of a call of like, well, why aren't we talking about James Corden? Like people don't have nice things to say about him too. I feel like it's hit or miss, but it's like this celebrity thing, right? It's like Ellen. Celebrities fucking love Ellen because Ellen's awesome to celebrities. She's mean to all the normies. James Corden is probably awesome with other celebrities, but mean to the other normies. So the fans, but literally I had Googled just Wicked.
Yeah.
And the top stories is a Vanity Fair article that came out an hour ago. Headline. Keep James Corden out of the Wicked movie. Fans demand.
The fact that he wasn't even involved.
Yeah, like, I don't even know.
Oh, it's actually up to 34,000
Oh my
signatures.
God. There hasn't even been like, oh, James Corden's going to be in Wicked. It's just like, for the love of God, keep James Corden away from Wicked. No matter what happens, keep him away from Wicked.
This is what it says. The request is quite simple. James Corden in no way, shape, or form should be in or near the production of Wicked the movie. That's pretty much it.
Just don't let him even sniff the production set of Wicked. I just think it's funny. God. I don't even know what James Corden did wrong, but I just know that people don't want him involved in Wicked, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. It is hard. The last few ones I think have been bad. Like I said, Cats, The Prom, Cinderella. I think those were all pretty resounding bad.
Boos.
Yeah. I did like him in Into the Woods. He was the baker in Into the Woods, which... I do. I mean, I liked it. I liked that one. But like I said, I think because it's the last few. Yeah. And also it just seems to be that any time that there now is some kind of musical adaptation or a musical adaptation or just a straight up musical, James Corden is finding his way into the movie.
Let's
leave
like, James Corden out of it.
Movies. Those are like some of the biggest movie musicals that have come out.
Say that he like was considering like stopping his late night show, or like he didn't want to do.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he was potentially thinking about stopping musicals.
No, I thought he was
at this point,
I thought
maybe he'll
after
just go
Cats,
fully into acting.
I don't know. Who knows? But listen, I'm not one for like mob mentality, like what everyone's saying we should join. But this one's kind of got me. Like this one's like, you know what? Maybe we should leave James Corden out of Wicked.
It is just so funny though, because you did think that he had already been cast.
I did. I was
and you were like, they want him out. And I'm like, no, he hasn't even been cast.
That's what makes
and that's how
better.
much they don't want him in this movie.
It's too funny.
It literally, this is it. It's 37.
Oh my God.
At 50,000 signatures.
Went up to 34,000, 37,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
James Corden
Rapid
in no
pace.
way, shape, or form should be in or near the production of the Wicked movie. That's pretty much it.
You
That's
have to
all
think
it
like
says.
it has to hurt. Like if you're James Corden.
Oh my God. That's why I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not
Guys,
trying to
people
join.
wrote their reasons for signing. This one just says, we've suffered enough.
enough. James Corden's already dead. Let's not bury him.
James is evil, just like Ellen.
This is so fucked. Wait.
I'm signing because if James Corden is in it, I can't watch it. I'm not even reading some of them out loud because some are actually just like
James Corden is basically a dumpster brought to life.
like-
All right, enough.
No, I know. Like
let's
that,
keep it
like there's like a sneaky,
This is
very
getting mean. This is getting mean.
Well, you know what goes around comes around.
Yeah,
my-
maybe he has been that mean and now it's just coming back to him. Either way, keep James Corden out of Wicked and good for Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I am very, very excited for this. Ariana and Cynthia are going to be fantastic. We have a awesome interview with Max Greenfield. Before we get into that, you all know it. You hear us talking about it. Our favorite beer, the official beer of Chicks in the Office, Coors Light. Right now, it has been a little bit of a marathon. You're traveling, live shows, really being on all the time. It's a go, nonstop hustle. That's why Rhea and I need a moment to chill.
Coors Light.
We need a moment to chill. So we are very excited because Coors Light is literally the only beer that is made to chill. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know when it's time to chill. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged. Like I said, literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. A nice... Picture this. It's the fall. The leaves, they're changing. The foliage. You're sitting in your house. You got a nice fireplace going. It's Sunday afternoon. The dog is sitting next to you on the couch. You get the TV on. Maybe you're watching some football. This is my, honestly, dream fall scenario I'm painting right now.
Yep.
And you have someone, not yourself because you don't want to get up, but someone come bring you a nice ice cold Coors Light from the fridge. You crack that open and it's an instant, just instant gratification. Exactly. So that is why Coors Light is the one we choose when we need to unwind. So when you want to hit reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light in the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/chicks. That's CoorsLight.com/chicks. Always celebrate responsibly. It's coming from the Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado.
All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest, actor, and I guess now author, Max Greenfield. Welcome to the show, Max.
I love how she kind of said like, and I guess author.
Yeah, no, I didn't want the I guess to sound like I was, like, can we really consider that? But at the same time, I'm like, well, I guess he's adding it to the resume.
Yep.
You sound like my parents. They're like, I guess you wrote a book?
Well, I think it's also because
because
it's also because it's a picture book.
Well,
Well,
there are words.
there are
I did out, like,
Yeah.
I didn't like cut out a bunch of pictures from a magazine. But
Artist,
I wrote a book.
artist and author.
Well, you did write a book. It's called I Don't Want to Read This Book. It is a children's book. It looks like the children's book that perhaps parents will actually be able to get their children to read. And I feel like that was probably the point of you writing this book in the first place. Where did the inspiration come from to write a children's book?
Yeah, I mean, lockdown had happened, and I was doing all of the homeschooling with my child. I started putting stuff up on Instagram, and it got a really great response. I mean, basically, I was at work on Friday. My daughter was at school. By Saturday, they had told us that work was done, and by Sunday, nobody was going back to school. And by Monday, it was me in a room with my daughter and like a curriculum. And we both looked at each other and we were like, this is worst case scenario. Because she knows how dumb I am. And we've experienced trying to do homework together, and it's a real struggle.
She's like, my education is down the tubes.
Yeah, I mean, we were just like, this is so overwhelming that it's past the point of being scary and just straight to comedy. So we took a picture of ourselves, and I was like, let's put this on Instagram because this feels like what, social media is meant for. When you're scared and you're like in a weird place and you go, wonder if anybody else feels like this. And we got this overwhelming response, and then we started doing these videos, and then all these like first responders and teachers were reaching out to us going, these are keeping us going, please. And then we felt all this pressure to keep doing that. And I was like, this feels like a job. But during that time, I had someone reach out to me, and ironically, they were like, we think this is something, we don't know what it is, but like, what if you did like a parenting podcast? And I was like, listen, man, I lose steam after about 25 minutes. I go 40 minutes, I'm done. And then there's insane long pauses where I'm just thinking of words and I don't know how to put them together. And I'm like, podcast's not for me. And then he said, what about a book? And I go, a real book? I go, I can't do that. It's too long. And then he suggested a picture book, and I went, that's interesting. Let me think about it. And I went for a run. I was like, well, if I was going to write a picture book, it would be, based on my experience every night with my kids, trying to get them to read a book or have me read a book to them, which is going through all the books that people have given us that sit on our shelves that look really cool and saying, what do you want to read? You want to read this? You want to read that? You want to read that? And every time I ask them about any book, the both of them are like, no, I don't want to read that book. I don't want to read that book. And there's always like some reason why. And, with my son who's 6, it's me reading to him. And with my daughter, it's, now she's pretty fluent. But, a couple of years ago, it was more like, I don't want to read. I don't want to do it. I don't want to read with you. And then as soon as it got hard, like, I don't want to do that. And so rather than having the argument for 30 minutes before we would go to bed, it would be more like, well, what if the book that we read before we went to bed was all of this bullshit conversation that we're having right now? And it's written in first person, so there's a narrator, or the person reading it is the person who is voicing the opinion in the book. And it's all the reasons why you don't want to read a book. And it's words and sentences and paragraphs and how they all suck. And now I lose focus during while I'm reading a paragraph, and I start thinking about other things. Then I got to start over again.
Yeah, I feel like what you mentioned before. Yeah, exactly.
Good.
What you mentioned before about sitting with your daughter and posting it on social media to be like, is anybody feeling this way? And you get an overwhelming response. I feel like that's the exact reaction to this book. It's like, oh my gosh, thank God parents, they're all going through the same thing every single night with their kids.
Yeah, I really hope so. I also think, potentially I hope it's good for the kids too, because I think it's a hard thing for a kid to, articulate when they're that age, that reading kind of sucks and it's hard sometimes, or they just don't want to do it because, they're 7 or 8 or whatever, however old they are. And they're like, yeah, I'm still learning how to do this. And it's strenuous. It's a heavy lift for me.
And, little kids do, like, there is an embarrassment factor, even with their parents. Like, I know, like, when I read, younger cousins, and when I would ask them if they want to read, if they got to a word that they didn't know, they would be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know that word.
Well, you were in forensics, so you didn't have that problem.
when I was in kindergarten, I wasn't doing it, but when you reach a word that you're like, what the hell is that? I'm not gonna try and read that in front of other people.
You're like, oh, my stomach hurts.
Yep. So we
would get drafts of episodes on New Girl, like right before table reads. And Jake Johnson and I would just sit there and leaf through all the pages and make sure there wasn't any words that we were going to mispronounce. And we'd be like, hey, man, how do you say this?
Or you just skip over that one, act like it wasn't written in there.
I feel like Schmidt was a big fan of very long words.
What's that?
I said I feel like Schmidt was a big fan of very long words.
Well, yeah, part of the reason why I mispronounced so many words on the show is because I really had to sound them out. I would put all the letters in there, even if they were silent.
It works, though. How old is your daughter?
She's now 11. She'll be 12 in January.
So when you were going over her schoolwork with her, were you like, oh, this shit's hard?
They changed math. I realized that recently when I was also in lockdown and my boyfriend's nieces were around a lot, and math is different. They just decided to start teaching math differently.
They sure did.
I don't know why they did that.
We would take all these school meetings and they'd be like, we teach Singapore math. I was like, what do they do in Singapore? I don't know. Then I'll sit there. But, when I was really in it with her and they hadn't figured out the homeschooling yet, because they got much better the second year and I wasn't that involved because she was able to do it more fluently by herself. Fourth grade, I was all right. I could hold my own. And now she's in sixth grade, and there's stuff she brings home, and I'm like, this is a joke.
It starts getting a little difficult.
I don't know what a ratio. I mean, I sort of know what a ratio is, but then breaking down a ratio, what the? And then it really brings out an ugly side of myself too, which I'm not proud of, because she'll ask for my help, and I'll go, yeah, sure, gotcha. I go in so confidently every time, and I sit down, and then I start to get frustrated.
Yes.
And then somehow that frustration bleeds into our conversation, and now I'm frustrated with her, but I know it's my own frustration, but I'm going to hold on to it because right now I feel like I need to be right. Mm-hmm. And it's the ugliest version of myself. And at some point, really, the sooner I pull out and go, I don't know, just email your teacher.
This reminds me of when I was a kid and I would bring home my math. I was so bad at math. I still am. It's just terrible. And I really don't need it now. So I'm glad I didn't try that hard. But I would bring it home to my dad and he would look it over and he would grab my pencil and start working on it. And I knew that he really didn't know what he was doing when he grabbed his glasses. Yeah. He was like, all right, I'm going to grab these glasses, act like I'm looking real hard. And then he would just he would throw the pencil and be like, I don't know, just write something down. I don't care if you get it wrong.
One of the most unattractive versions of myself I could ever imagine would be he realizing okay, well, this actually is a bit of a tricky word problem. Let's break it down. And so I'll go, okay, so Catherine has 7 nickels. All right, so let's take those nickels and let's put those nickels over here because those are Catherine's nickels. Billy will look at me like this. I can't do this. I don't care how helpful this is. You're the worst.
You end up hating the fake people in the problem. Yeah. You're like, well, Catherine's stupid.
Catherine hates me and my interpretation of what the issue is.
Oh man, it's so funny. So I do think kids are gonna love this book. It's a book that I feel like I already need to be gifting everyone. It's perfect timing. The holiday season is coming around, and nothing was worse. I have tons of young people and kids in my life that I can get this book to. But what's also funny is I do think that there are also kids around the holidays who get a book and they're like, Wow. Thanks. A book. But this whole maybe you'll get a different reaction.
But this one will get a different reaction because of the title. Like even when I first read the title of this book, I was like, oh, I'm intrigued now. Yep. I don't want to read this book, but now I do want to read this book.
I love that.
Mind games, a good mind game. Max, you are also on The Neighborhood right now on CBS. It's in its 4th season, which is awesome. I feel like it is rare to get to be a part of multiple sitcoms that run for, more than a couple seasons. So this is really cool, and you get to work with so many amazing people. What's it like being on that show? Because I gotta imagine Cedric the Entertainer is a blast for all the time.
Well, I'm just trying to stay on TV I'm trying to consistently be on TV forever.
Smart.
That's I mean, I think my next move is going to be one of those NCIS shows that just because I know I'll get like a good 11 years.
Yes, those things just keep running. They never stop.
Yep. Put me on. You know what? Maybe we should talk, and you could give me some of your forensic background. Yeah. I've actually got some tangible experience with it. But yeah, The Neighborhood's been the best. And really what's great about The Neighborhood, I mean, one, you're with this incredible group. Cedric is as good as it gets. He's exactly who you want him to be. And then some. I mean, he really is sort of like the leader of that show. I just come in and do some goofy shit. But, he really is like, he crafts those stories and he really works hard with the writers to make sure everything runs. And he understands the format really well. And it's like a tricky thing to do, those multicams. When you get them right, they could last forever. And you get them wrong and you're like, this is a really rough show.
Yeah.
But he's been great. Tashina Arnold, who's been on every show from Martin to it's just a group of people who've all done it before. And when you have that, it's really fun because there's no bullshit. There's no egos. There's no nonsense. There's no like trying to figure it out. It's just we all know what we're doing. Each week is like, what's the story we're telling? What's the best way to tell it? And then ultimately, especially with that type of show, it's like have fun doing it because the audience can see if you're not.
Right.
And luckily we have probably a little bit too much fun.
Right.
And especially when you get into a 4th season, you're like, calm down with the fun. Okay? Remember, it's a job.
Oh yeah, that we forget that at this place too sometimes.
I gotta imagine that's how it started to get on New Girl. Also, New Girl is one of my all-time favorites. I've watched it start to finish endless times. I've made my boyfriend watch it.
I watched it for the first time during lockdown. I watched all of it. It was just all I did was watch New Girl, and I can imagine that. Yes, I was so excited. Yeah. You were so excited.
I was so
excited. You
always
talked about it, but I can imagine that after you end a show like that, it's like, all right, well, you hope that the next show that you're on, you get a great group of people, right? Because you spend so much time with this people. It's like when you move from high school to college. You don't want to leave your high school friends because you get attached to them, but then you go to college and then you make all these new friends. What was that like for you, the show ending and then moving on from it?
It was stressful because when it ends, you try to prepare yourself for it, but it was like, oh God, well, what do you do now? And you don't really have that much control over it unless you go create something on your own. And that involves writing things that are longer than children's books. And then like extensive notes, and you're like, I don't want to do this. So you have to sort of give yourself over to the process and just trust that something's going to come along and that you're going to be right for it. And then there's going to be stuff that comes in that you're going to go, this is not right. I know they would love for me to do this, but I'm going to have to pass on this, which is not something I was in a position to do when New Girl started. When New Girl started, I had so overachieved on that show where I was like, I think I got on a really good show as opposed to what I would have taken, which is like, I'll take anything.
Anything.
Totally. We had just had my wife had just given birth to our daughter, and she was, 1 year old at that point, and I was like, I don't know how much longer I can still do this. And then New Girl happened, and you were like, whoa, this was 0 to 100 really fast. So when it ended, you really just look at, I tried to look, I want to be a part of something that I believe in, that I think is good and with good people. But also what was really appealing about the multicam is that you rehearse most of the week and then you shoot. Or at least, when before COVID, you would just tape on a Tuesday night, and you have a fun tape night and everybody comes out and you're in front of an audience. It's the best. But you also can have a balanced lifestyle with that job, because you're rehearsing. It means you're like, it's sort of like the closest thing to a 9 to 5.
Right.
And like, I can drop my kids off at school, go to work, and then on some days go pick them up, or like make their volleyball game that afternoon. And so that was really, really appealing to me. And CBS had, always done them or do them, better than anybody, and have set themselves up to be a place where those can exist. And I just was really lucky that the opportunity sort of came up the way that it did. And I had known Cedric a little bit and had mutual friends and heard how wonderful he was. And I just jumped in and thought, this is probably a great move. And it turned out to be one.
Yeah. How do you know, when like a script comes your way that you really don't want to do it? And like saying no, right? Because I'm sure you have people pushing you, right? Agents, managers, whoever. When do you say no? Like, how do you know that?
I like to... Usually if they ask me to be the lead, I'm like, there's a problem. If they want me to be the star of the show, we're off to a bad start. What I find so wonderful about working in general is being around people. And so I like to come in late. Show me a good team on paper, and if I like what's happening, I'll come in and be the 7th, 8th, 3rd, 4th guy on that. I don't care. I just want to work with, fun, exciting people. And if it's a network TV job that's going to last a long time, you want to be with people who, you're going to get along with and work well with for a long period of time. So you really try to look for that. And if you're going to be on something that's much shorter, like a movie, like with Promising Young Woman, or like when I went to go do The Big Short, it's just like, I'll do whatever you guys want. And you certainly want to be with good people, but you want people who are just have really, really strong visions of what they want to do, and just jump on board and try to be of service to what they're trying to create.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to be a leading man.
Oh, no.
God, no.
Well, but it's great because like those movies that you just mentioned, like Promising Young Woman, you're so great in that movie. Rhea and I love that movie.
Such a great movie.
Because you really played that douche so well. Like, it was like such
nailed it.
Like, it was just like the perfect, like, we hate this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, my friend Jillian saw the movie in Sundance, which was really interesting because it was right before lockdown, and it was like it was right before everything went crazy. It was one of the last like in-person movies that I think people were able to see. And Jill, my friend Jillian saw it, and she called me right away, and she was like, "Oh my God," she loved the movie. And I go, "Can I ask you something?" And I want you to be honest, because I think if you say yes to this question, I'll take it as a compliment. I go, "Of all the guys in the movie, was I the worst?" And she's like, I think you were. Good.
You were like, yes.
Yes.
I was like, that was sort of because with everybody else in that movie, there was two things that were interesting about that job. One, with all the other guys in the movie, there was they carried some sort of guilt with them.
Mm-hmm.
and they had grown up a little bit, and they had moved away from this situation, and there was they held it with them, and then when it was brought to their attention, they felt terrible about it. And my character had none of that. And you're in a position where he comes in at the very end of the movie, and then he's sort of driving the action that happens in those last couple minutes, and you go, this guy needs to be a real piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But that means that means it was a great job. Like
exactly.
If you're supposed to play a hateable character and everyone's like, you were really hateable.
Right. And you want everyone to remember that. And that's why I totally remember it. Totally.
Yeah. Well, thank God everyone was like, oh, Schmidt, new girl. We like him. And then so that they can compare it to that.
Right. There's so many other characters. Now, like, I know, of course, it's been hard because there's been a year plus of lockdown and things like that. But when you are recognized for Schmidt, which I'm guessing happens all the time, and like fans come up to you in the public world, what is like? Is there like a some sort of Schmidt line that you get the most? Because he has so many great like one-liners. I wonder if people come up to you and like try and be Schmidt to your face.
And they're like, do the line, say it.
Every once in a while, I'll speak at colleges every once in a while, and I'll do these Q&As with the students there. And I'd say 25% of the questions are, can you say this line? And there's a handful of them. But out in the world, it's more like people passing by, sometimes people driving by if I'm walking on the street, and it's just like a Schmidt.
Sounds about right.
And I'm always like, what's up?
Super casual.
It's a cool, like, it's just a real, like, it's a real bro sort of, back and forth. And it's just a quick acknowledgement. Like, there's also a little bit of that you? And it's just like a confirmation to those people, like, sure is.
Oh, yeah. It is funny because I just do think that with that show, those characters are some of the best characters that have ever been written for, short form TV in my personal opinion.
Individually their own.
Oh my God.
Everyone has their own.
Schmidt, Nick, and Winston are so incredibly funny individually, and the way that show worked was like so fantastic. I know I'm just rambling at this point, but it has been such a great comfort show, I think, for so many people. And like Rhea said, watching it in lockdown, I think a lot of people did that because it was like, this is a show that can make people laugh.
I was like,
smile,
I get it now.
And it's really so great. So we're really excited that we got to speak to you and have you on. And we're very excited to tell everyone that they can buy I Don't Want to Read This Book on November 9th. Pick it up, buy it for every little person you have in your life, whether it's nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters. This
kids on the street. Kids,
just start handing it out.
Yeah, kids you pick up at the supermarket. Maybe you bring them home. Get them for those.
Look, you're still teaching them to read, right? So it's giving them something to take away from. But Max, thank you so much. Like I said, everyone can get the book. I Don't Want to Read This Book on November 9th. And season 4 of The Neighborhood is on Monday nights on CBS. So tune in to that as well.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was great.
Thanks, Max. We really appreciate it.
That wraps up this episode of Chicks in the Office. Make sure you vote for us for the People's Choice Awards. The link is in the description. It's votepca.com. Go to the pop culture section and click the Pop Podcast. Vote for us. Also, you could tweet #the Pop Podcast, #Chicks in the Office, #PCAs, and that also counts as a vote. Please do it, everyone. We love you. We thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.